Hello, I'm Jonasz Lewiński and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. Let's begin with the latest news. On the 3rd of September, Vladimir Putin plans to visit Mongolia at the invitation of the country's president. This visit was announced by the official Telegram channel of the Kremlin's press service. During the meeting, Putin and the Mongolian leader plan to discuss the prospects for further development of their partnership and to exchange views on international and regional issues. In addition, they plan to sign bilateral agreements. Yes, the main problem is trying to find who is the problem in the world, like beyond Russia itself. It's like watching a dog trying to catch its own tail. But here is the question. How can the war criminal Vladimir Putin visit other countries without any consequences? Mongolia recognizes the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court, otherwise known as the ICC, which issued an arrest warrant for Putin back in March 2023. In plain language, the country has the opportunity to arrest the head of the Kremlin. When asked about the visit to Mongolia, Russian government spokesperson Dmitry Peskov stated that the Kremlin is not worried about any repercussions for the Russian leader.
В Кремле сообщили, что президент Владимир Путин в ближайшее время отправится в Улан-Батор. В то же время Монголия является страной-участницей Международного уголовного суда. Нет ли в Кремле переживаний по этому поводу? Спасибо.
Нет переживаний. У нас прекрасный диалог с нашими друзьями в Монголии.
Разрешите ведомости в дополнение про Монголию?
Да?
А скажите, пожалуйста, были ли переговоры с властями этой страны по поводу ордера, который выдал МОЗ перед тем, как визит согласовать?
Разумеется, визит, все аспекты визита тщательно готовились.
Now, however, the plot thickens. The spokesperson of the International Criminal Court, Fadi El Abdallah, responded to Peskov in an interview for the BBC, reminding the public that Mongolia is a signatory to the Rome Statute. As such, the country is legally obliged to arrest Vladimir Putin, for whom a warrant was issued for his participation in the abduction of Ukrainian children. So, Putin is trying to demonstrate that the state can remain a conditionally democratic country by cooperating with dictatorships. With his visit to Mongolia, Vladimir Putin is trying to humiliate the International Criminal Court and demonstrate that the arrest warrant issued for him allegedly means nothing at all. Let's not forget that Putin has recently repeatedly missed international meetings and cancelled trips abroad. I wonder why. In his stead, Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov attended the BRICS summit, for example. That one was held between the 22nd and the 24th of August in Johannesburg. And guess what? Putin was a no-show. He participated remotely. In addition, Putin did not go to the G20 summit, which took place between the 9th and the 10th of September last year in Delhi. But let's just imagine if Putin is arrested in Mongolia. That would stop the war. Quite literally, Mongolia would be the country that brought about peace and would forever go down in history as the nation that stopped a bloody dictator and murderer. But life could never be that sweet, right? Now, let's return to events on the Russian soil. As the school year begins, the Russian president, or the Russian dictator, we should probably say, to be perfectly honest, decided to congratulate Russian kids. Let's take a look at how he did that.
И, разумеется, мы сейчас думаем и о ваших сверстниках, о ребятах из Курской, Брянской, Белгородской областей, которые вынуждены в силу известных обстоятельств заниматься онлайн, либо учиться в других коллективах. Безусловно, страна, наши вооруженные силы сделают все для того, чтобы нормальная жизнь в этих регионах, нормальная жизнь у этих детей, у этих ребят восстановилась. Уверен, так и будет, здесь не может быть никаких сомнений.
What an absurdity, right? This man started the war against Ukraine, in which more than 2,000 Ukrainian children have been killed or injured, and also ordered the forcible deportation of Ukrainian kids into Russia. By the way, landing him the summons to the ICC, which he chooses to ignore. This man caused the destruction of many cities in Ukraine, and just a few months ago directed the shelling of a kids' hospital in Kiev. This man, who is killing Ukrainian children and destroying their childhoods, is now trying to support Russian kids in the Belgorod and Kursk regions. Well, dear Mr. Putin, maybe the reason why Ukrainian and Russian children can't have a normal school life is closer than you think. Just look in the mirror. Okay, let's do some showbiz, right? We all love showbiz. Recently, the efforts of a certain Russian singer were finally acknowledged. Of course, in a really, really Russian style. So, here is the Russian singer, Yulia Chicherina, who is a fan of Putin and his politics. But she is an even bigger fan of the Russian army. She has held concerts in occupied Ukrainian territories, personally removing Ukrainian flags from administrative buildings. Yes, this woman is a true Z singer, or Z singer. Well, depends whether you live in the UK or the US. Finally, after many years of her support, Russian soldiers decided to give her a present. And she was so happy that she shared it with all the people on her profile on X. Why does she have a profile on X? Well, don't ask me, but let's take a look.
Ребята трофей взяли, вот, Шанель сумку, и Юле подарили.
Французов, по-моему, они поймали.
Да, тут пару французов захватили, да, они для своих жен.
Они с сумочками, с бородами. Они с такими гоняют, это у них пантрадажи такие. Так что вот. Не, классно. Не, ну это самое оригинальное, пожалуй.
Russian soldiers have given that woman a Chanel bag as a trophy that was looted from someone's home. Russian soldiers are proud of their looting and gleefully recorded it on camera. Chicherina, in turn, doesn't hesitate to accept the stolen goods and is happy with the gift. What a great representation of enlightened Russian culture that is. Now, the Russian propaganda machine is working all the time. Never taking a break, never pausing. Recently, it posted a video that is supposed to inspire Russians to join the armed forces. Now, that's gonna be a tough task, right? But is this really inspiring? Well, let us find out, shall we?
Из чего же сделаны наши мужчины? Из татушек и проколотых ушек? Из иллюзий и банановых смузи сделаны наши мужчины. Из яркого грима и стримов. Из сладких пирожных и брендов одежных сделаны наши мужчины. Из чего сделан ты? Присоединяйся к тем, кто сделан из чести, доблести и мужества. Присоединяйся к своим.
So, did your cringe meter just go off the scale like mine did? Let's face it, this video isn't about defending your country, it's about committing genocide in a neighboring nation on the orders of an insecure dictator. Even without the rest of the context, the ad looks like an attempt to persuade people not to go to war, really. You know, also, obviously, just look at the examples given. I mean, would you rather post stuff on Instagram, or would you rather go into a neighboring country risking getting killed by a landmine or by a drone? I mean, that should be fairly obvious, right? The last question is really an appeal to Russians. What are you made of? Join your countrymen with valor, honor and courage. But after almost 3 years following the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the world sees that Russian soldiers are made of murder, looting and occupation. I mean, even in the very first part of the video, you can see that guy with the little teddy bear. I wonder where this teddy bear really did come from. Was it looted from a home from a Ukrainian kid? We don't know that. I mean, presumably might have been. This is the real face of the Russian army, and no propagandist video can actually fix that. But it can make us all cringe here in the West, and it does. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates. I'm Jonasz Rowiński. Bye for now.